community, and strong businesses. Now, let me introduce today's speaker to you all. Ma'am Sarika Sharma, a corporate soft skill trainer, life and happiness coach. Sarika's diverse background and versatility enables her to tap on a plethora of experiences in sharing, connecting, and engaging with people. Known for her training methodologies, she injects a catalytic blend of positive energy and resonant experiences throughout her trainings. Passionate about making a difference, Sarika believes in the power of experiences in inspiring transformations. She envisions learning and development as a platform for every person to discover the limit of their potential and exceed them. Her mantra is that the greatest training programs build a safe and conducive learning environment and empowers participants to authentically discover new learning every time. As a trainer and facilitator, she infuses her training with sincerity and dynamism and humor, spurring learners to go the distance in realizing their trust best selves. She has established and expertise her experience in communication skills, soft skills, behavioral skills. She is an artistically inclined social media engager and marathoner. She is fitness enthusiast and ambassador for many fitness groups. Before starting with today's event, there are some ground rules which every participant need to obey and follow them. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. Each and every question asked by the participants will be answered at the end. Every participant is requested to keep their mic mute. Lastly, a feedback form will be shared in the chat box. Over to you, ma'am. Nice having you here.
Thank you so much, Namit. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And I would like to thank SEMS Foundation for inviting me to talk on this platform and give presentation here. Thank you so much. So, friends, I would like to tell you all that let's make this more interactive session. Here, let's not make it a monologue. Please use chat box whenever I'm asking you any questions or whenever you have to say anything. So let's use chat box because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions and please use chat box for that. Okay. So yes, let me just share my screen with you all. Just give me a moment. So today what we are going to discuss about time management. Now, before I start, I would like to share with you all what is the objective that we are going to have for the time management. Okay. Can you also see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So what's the objective? What we are going to learn here is that how we are able to plan and prioritize our day's activities in a more efficient and a productive way. So very, very important thing that we have to learn in a time management. We are going to learn different tools and techniques that we can use handling our time management, how we can overcome procrastination quickly and easily, how we can handle crisis in our day-to-day life, and how we can organize our workspace and workflow to make better use of time. Very, very important thing is delegation. Most of the time we forget to delegate certain things. So we have to learn how we can delegate things not so which are not so useful or not so important, and how we are going to make rituals to make our life run more smoother. So this is going to be the objective. This is what we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay. Now, coming to time management, what I would want you all to go through this slide first, and then I'm going to start with the session. A small slide, a small, a slide on video on what is time. Namnit, just let me know, just give me a thumbs up when if you are able to hear the voice.
Hello, I am time. I am precious. I am priceless, but I am free. I know no partiality. I am the same to the poor and the rich. I am the same to the young and the old. Some spend me, some use me. Use me and see. I will help you reach your goals, dreams, and ambition. Use me and see. I'll make you healthy and wealthy. I can make you progress and prosper. You can use me only once. You can't recycle me. I fly, never to return. Don't use me next to next and say next time. Because next time you may miss me and see my footprints called too late. Give me as a gift to someone, because I can heal, I can encourage, I can inspire, I can bring joy and happiness. I teach you life lessons so that you may know what really matters. I am yours. It's your time. Don't waste me. Take good care of me today, and I will take good care of you tomorrow. Before I leave, I must say, I am given to you by God. Please give back some time to Him to pray, to say thank you, and to ask Him to give you wisdom to use me properly. Hello, I am time. I am precious. I am priceless, but I am free. Hello, good morning. This is Navjivan. Use your time properly. Have a great day. God bless you.
Okay, so I think so you would have listened to this video. Very, very important on time, why we should use time properly, So, uh, so I just want to understand from you all, if you can put up in the chat box, what do you all understand by the term time management? Time management ka matlab kya? What do you all understand by the term time management? Can you all put up? I'll just give you 10 seconds to put up in the chat box. Okay. Okay. So let me just tell you, time management, how we choose to use and organize our time is something many of us struggle with. Effective time management allows us to make the most of our day, accomplishing tasks more quickly and prioritizing those that will make the most impact. Now, different people need different effective time management strategies. If you're a student, then you may choose to manage your time in a different way than someone who is a working mother or a working professional. Now, if you're a visual person, now let me just tell you, there are three types of people. One is visual, one is auditory, and one is kinesthetic. So, if you're a visual person, you may prefer a color-coded calendar over a written to-do list, right? Figuring out process that works for you, whatever that may be, is the key to creating the most effective life. Right? Now, to help you improve your poor time management, I've explored few popular techniques from 80-20 rule or to eat that frog method. Okay, I have outlined what they are, and how to implement them. Okay, so that is about time management. Now, understanding what is time management. What do you all understand by the term time management? So, time management is nothing but it is a process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between specific activities. So basically, let me just tell you all what is a good time management. Good time management is after completing all your tasks of completing your all your professional, your household chores and everything. If you are getting that one time, a little time for yourself, even a half an hour or 1 hour for your own self, according to me, that is a good time management. Because I come across so many people in my life, whenever I ask them, okay, what are your hobbies, they will say this and this is my hobby. I say perfect. So do you maintain your hobbies? The only answer that I get from everyone, from working professional to even students, no, I do not have time. I can maintain my hobbies because I do not have time. A person who is saying that he or she does not have time to maintain their hobby, that means they are a poor time manage they manage their time very poorly. Okay, so a person who I can say who is a good at time management is a person who, after completing all professional and personal household chores and everything, is able to have a little time, personal time for himself or herself, is good at managing time. Don't you come across celebrities like the MD or the CEO of the companies who are able to manage their time so well? They are reading each one book every month or maybe every week. How they are able to do that? Because they take out time for themselves. So this is what we have to see, that how we can have time for ourselves. Now, do you all know what is the importance of 1 minute? 1 minute is very, very important. The importance of 1 minute is that a person may miss his train, may miss his flight only for 1 minute. Go and check the Guinness Book of Records where people have lost, or maybe not even Guinness Book, even in the sports. Go and see how people for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, they have lost their positions in first place or second place or third place. That is the importance of time management. 1 minute, here I'm talking about 1 minute. People have achieved so much in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and 20 seconds. So that is how we are talking about time management. Okay. So I would want you all to put up in the chat box who can use time management, who, for whom time management is there, who should use time management. Can you all please put up in the chat box, please, as I said? Okay, everyone, absolutely. Okay, Shriyanshi, I missed you this. Using your time effectively and making it useful. Everyone, yes, absolutely correct. Each and everyone has to use the time management effectively, right from a small. So we say small kids, small kids are the perfect examples where they have to use their time management. They have to get up on time, they have to get ready, have their breakfast, go to school. They cannot miss their bus, you know, they cannot miss their bus. They go to school, come back, play, study, go to sleep on time. So they are the best example of using the time management, right? And also we are having we say housewives. Our housewives, do they have to manage time? Yes, even they have to manage their times very effectively. If they do not get up on time, if they do not get up on time, if they do not make tiffins for their kids and for their husbands, how can they manage their time? So even they have to manage their time perfectly. So we can say that time management is used for each and everyone. Okay, and everyone should be able to know how can they use their time management effectively. Okay, so do you know what is the difference between a clock time and a real time? What is the difference between a clock time and a real time? Clock time is something which is which runs as per the clock. Like if you see in a clock, there are 60 seconds in a minute, there are 16 minutes in an hour, there are 24 hours in a day, and there are 365 days in a year. So in clock time, all the time passes equally. For example, if someone turns 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, he or she is exactly 60 years old, no more or no less. That is the clock time. Now, what is a real time? Real time is a relative in real time. Hence, depending on the activities that we are doing, activities, if it's an enjoyable activity, okay, we will think the time is flying. But if it is a boring activity, then we feel that the time has stopped. That is a real time. Now, let me give you an example. If you have to go for a movie and it's an excellent movie, you just love that movie, you won't know how 2 years have passed by. You think, अरे अभी तो 2 घंटा हो भी गया क्या? मुझे तो लगा अभी सिर्फ 15 मिनट या 20 मिनट हुआ है. So you, when you are enjoying things in life, the time passes very fast. But if you are not enjoying anything, if you have to go for an appointment, if you go and meet a doctor, and you have got an appointment with a doctor, if you're waiting in the queue for 2 hours, okay, if you're waiting in the queue for 15 minutes also, you think that you have waited for 2 hours. Okay, so that is basically a real time. That is basically a real time. Okay, so this is a difference between a clock time and a real time. Now, let's understand what are the benefits of time management. So there are a lot of benefits of time management. It helps us in decreasing our stress level. Okay, our stress is decreased. Okay, let me just give you an example how I can say my stress is decreased. So I have to go to an office, or I have to go to a college, or I have to go to an office, and I have to reach office by 9:30, and it takes almost half an hour, 30 minutes for me to reach office or college. So ideally, at what time should I be leaving my house? Ideally, even if I leave at 8:30, I should be able to manage to reach my college or my office. If I leave at 8:25, I would be in a perfect situation or in a perfect position to reach college, because I know I have got a buffer of 5 minutes here and there. Anything can happen in the traffic. Now, tell me, if you leave your home at 8:35, what is going to happen? You will be high on your stress level. You know you won't be able to reach on time. Okay, you're going to have a lot of stress. You will be having a lot of stress, and so uh, that is how you will increase your stress. So this is how you can decrease your stress levels, being on time. So it's always be on time to reduce stress. Obviously, with better time management, you will have an increased productivity. You will have a very good reputation. If I know of a person who reaches, I know of, like, in our friend circle, we know people who comes on time. So some people who always are exactly on time. So they have got a very, very good reputation with time management. So some people are very, very bad at reaching on time, and so they have a bad reputation on time management. So having a positive reputation, more energy for free time. Okay, if we are able, as I told you, that if we are able to manage our time properly, we will have more energy. We will have more free time for ourselves. We will have clear daily goals. Okay, streamlined decision making. We are having streamlined decision making. We will be able to reach our goals faster. We will have an improved quality of work. We'll have more confidence. Okay, obviously, if we are on time. Okay, now just tell me one thing. You are writing an exam. Okay, you are writing a paper, and in the paper you have to you are writing a paper, you have to give an exam. And if you are able to manage your time properly during your exam, you will be more confident of completing that exam paper. Improved self-discipline, improve focus, and better relationships. Okay, these are the benefits of time management. Okay, so what are the common challenges of time management? Now, there are few challenges that everyone faces for having a good time management is low motivation. Okay, not prioritizing. We are not, if you are not able to prioritize your tasks, you will not be able to handle the time management. So prioritizing is one very important thing. Procrastination is nothing but delaying our tasks every time. So that is called as procrastination. A lot of people have these challenges of having a procrastination. We keep delaying things. Okay, actually, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, not tomorrow. I'll day after tomorrow. So this is basically called as procrastination, and this is very common challenges of time management. Having too little time, okay, multitasking. So if you are doing a multitasking, a lot of people take a pride in multitasking. A lot of people take a pride in multitasking. Oh, I'm a multitasker. It's not a good thing. Complete one task and then go on to another task is what one should follow. So no, do not do too much of a multitasking. Overbooking. What is overbooking? Taking too many things on your hand which you are not able to complete. Complete one task and then take another task. That is again overbooking. Having too many things on your hand and not able to complete even one. Not getting enough rest, forgetting to delegate, lack of organization, lot of distractions. Okay, nowadays everyone have got a lot of distractions. From social media, from Facebook, from Twitter to Instagram. These are nothing but distractions. So you have to get rid of these distractions. Rigid planning. Now, what is rigid planning? Rigid planning is that I have to, if I know I have to complete this task, I will take 2 hours to complete this task, but I will say no, I will complete this in 1.5 hours. That is called as a rigid planning. So give time for if you're completing a project for it takes half an hour, give it half an hour, maybe 35 minutes. Do not make it 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So that is called as a rigid planning. Perfectionism. A lot of people again take a pride in saying, okay, I'm perfectionist, okay? But being perfectionist, you waste a lot of time. Okay, you waste a lot of time being perfectionist. Okay, like for example, I used to be a perfectionist when I was in college time, but then I realized being perfectionism is not leading me to anywhere. I mean, I'll take 30 minutes to clean my desk, to clean my cupboard. Do you think so it takes that much of time? It takes 10 to 15 minutes hardly. Okay, I want each and everything to be placed properly. That is perfectionism. Okay, so these are common challenges of time management, and we should avoid these. Okay, now let's come on to understanding the different tools and techniques that one use in handling the time management. Okay, so what is the Pareto analysis or Pareto's principle? I'm going to tell you a few tools and techniques how we can handle our time management. Okay. Uh, so what is anyone knows what is the Pareto's principle? It is also called as an 80-20 rule. Anyone knows what is the Pareto's principle? Can you all put up in the, okay, fine, very good. What is the Pareto's principle? It is also called as an 80-20 rule. Okay. Now, the 80-20 rule is a technique which was created by the Italian economist Wilfredo Pareto. It's the idea that 20% of our actions are responsible for 80% of the outcomes. The goal of Pareto analysis is to help you prioritize tasks that are more effective at solving problems. Okay. So basically, just let me just tell you how it works is basically Uh, we all study. Okay, I'll just give an example between me and my brother. So during our school time, during our college times, I normally used to believe in studying the entire subject. I will study the throughout the year, studying all the subjects. Whereas what my brother used to do was, my brother used to study a day before the exam, and he would only study the most important things that are going to come in, the most important things of that particular subject. So what he used to find out, what is the important thing one needs to study. In the bargain, what used to happen was, we both used to get the same numbers. Our numbers used to come the same. So what he used to do was, he used to basically follow the 80-20 rule. He used to only give emphasis on that 20%, which would give him the 80% of the result. So most of the time, we should put our effort on the 20%, which will give me we 80% of the result. So give your time 20% of on one particular thing, which will give you 80% of the result. So for example, even in the sales, if you are a marketing person, you will understand, even in the sale, 20% of the customers will give you 80% of the result. Okay, you would be having a clothes, full of clothes in your wardrobe, different kinds of clothes, your office wear, your college wear, your party wear, your sports wear, but you would be only using 20% of the clothes from that 80% of your wardrobe. Okay, so we should understand what is the 20% of the things that we should give our emphasis on, we should put our effort on. Okay, so let me just play this video again for you all, a small video.
Have you ever been interested in becoming more productive or managing your time better? Then you've most likely come across the Pareto principle before, also known as the 80-20 rule. If you've never heard of it, then you'll learn more about it in this video. The Pareto principle states that in any situation, 20% of the inputs or activities are responsible for 80% of the outputs or results. And I'll explain what that means in a second. The principle was named after an Italian economist, Wilfredo Pareto. He first observed this law in his own garden. What he noticed was that 20% of the pea pods generated 80% of the healthy peas. This observation led him to discover that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the population. And we can see this concept everywhere in our daily lives. For example, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. In a book, 20% of its pages contain 80% of the most important information. 20% of the company's customers produce 80% of company's revenue. When it comes to YouTube, 20% of my videos generate 80% of my views and subscribers. The Pareto principle shows up over and over again almost in every field. But the inverse is also true. That means that the other 80% is only generating 20% of the results. However, you should note that this is not a universal law, and it can differ in many situations. It's not always going to be 80-20, it could be 70-30, 90-10, basically anything. The point is that the majority of results come from minority of causes, and the minority of results come from the majority of causes. Now that we've established that this principle does indeed hold true, let's take a look at how you can use it in your everyday life. Time is our most precious resource. We all have the same amount of time in our day, but most of us don't use that time efficiently. There's a difference between being busy and being productive. Most people think that working more hours will get them more results. However, it's not about the time you put in, it's about how well you spend that time. If you haven't applied the Pareto principle in your life yet, you're most likely just being busy. However, when the principle is utilized correctly, It enables you to do more by doing less. If we go back to our previous example, we said that 20% of a book will give us 80% of the information. That means that 80% of a book will only give us 20% of its value. Let's say it takes you 10 hours to read 100% of that book. By applying the Pareto principle, you know that 80% of the most important information can be found in just 2 hours. Yes, you could go deeper and learn more in depth if you wanted to, but note that you will most likely have to spend 8 hours to get those extra 20% of the information. It's up to you to decide if you think it's worth it. If you're still in school, you can also take advantage of the 80-20 rule. The exams never contain 100% of the content. Never. Otherwise, it would be a 50-page exam. You can get a good grade by identifying which 20% of the content you were studying in class is the most important. Studying the right topic for 2 hours will get you a much better grade than studying the wrong topic for a whole week. Again, you could reread every single page of the textbook and get that 100%. But if being a top student is not your priority, then it just might not be worth your time. You can even do a Pareto analysis on your friendships. What you're most likely to find is that 20% of the friends give you 80% of fulfillment and joy that you get from social interactions. The other 80% of your so-called friends are only giving you 20% fulfillment. Now, you don't have to cut away all those friendships completely, but you don't have to spend an equal amount of time with all your companions. It's much better to have a few close friends than to have a bunch of really distant friends. This is why you should spend more time on the 20% that give you the most satisfaction and commit less time to the other 80%. And that pretty much sums up the Pareto principle, aka the 80-20 rule. It can be applied to almost any area of your life, whether it's business or free time. If you can identify the 20% that produces the greatest outcome, you can spend more time doing that to create an even greater payoff. It also helps you cut back on the 80% of things that waste your time, which create only 20% of the results. It encourages you to think efficiently and focus on what is actually important. So think about what are some things that you could double down on and which ones you should eliminate. Let me know how you're going to use the 80-20 rule in the comments below. For example, I have noticed that I use 20% of my shoes 80% of the time. This is why I threw the 80% I wasn't using away, because all they were doing is taking up my space. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Okay. So I hope now you would have understood what is the Pareto's principle of 80-20 rule. Okay. So now again, the next principle or the next technique is called as an Eisenhower matrix. Eisenhower matrix, also known as the urgent important matrix. Okay. Now this Eisenhower matrix was basically named uh, by the person named as Dwight Eisenhower. Before he became president in 1953, he served in the U.S. Army as an Allied Forces commander during World War II. He was faced with difficult situations every day that led him to invent what is now called as Eisenhower matrix or the urgent important matrix. Okay, so that is the matrix. Okay, now there are 4 quadrants in this matrix. Okay, one is urgent and important. Second is important but not urgent. Third is not urgent and not important. Fourth is urgent but not important. Now, I would want you all to please put up in the chat box which quadrant do you think you would want to be in? Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, or quadrant 4? Can you just put up quickly which quadrant do you think is the important thing or which one you should want to be in? Okay, Shriyanshi is saying first quadrant. first, Soumya. Okay. I would want everyone to participate. Please, if you're writing down what you want to be in, that means you're listening. I want everyone to listen to me, not only hear me. Okay. Okay. Soumya, Navneet, fine. Okay. So most of you all want everyone, only three of them are there to answer. Vaibhavi, Mandeep, okay, they all are saying first quadrant, right? Okay. So, okay, fine. Thank you so much. Let me just tell you all how it works actually. So we organize our task list into four different quadrants, sorting them by important versus unimportant or and urgent versus not urgent, as shown in the graphic. Now, urgent tasks are those we feel need to be get done immediately. Important tasks are those that contribute to our long-term goals or values. So, ideally, we should only work on the tasks in the first two quadrants, and the other tasks we should delegate or delete. Okay. So, so now let me just come to this slide now. Okay. After seeing this slide, which quadrant do you think you would want to be in now? Now, can you all just tell me which slide do you all want to be in now? Which quadrant you all want to be in now? Everyone? So, my dear friends, actually, we all need to be in quadrant number two, not in quadrant number one, because quadrant number one is basically is the quadrant of manage, whereas quadrant number two is the quadrant of leadership and quality. So let me tell you what happens is, okay, this is with everyone. What we all do is that we all think that we need to complete the most important thing or the most urgent thing immediately. Okay. Yes, we need to do that. We need to do whatever is the most important thing and most thing which requires urgency needs to be completed. But just give a thought to this. Okay. Now what happens is I was asked to make a presentation by my boss. Okay. And I was asked to made a presentation. I was asked on Thursday that I have to make a presentation by Monday and give it to my boss. Now Thursday it goes, Friday goes, I do not do anything. I have got so many days to make a presentation, but then I do not do that. Saturday goes, and on Sunday I realized that no, I have to complete, I have to make a presentation. So by Sunday, what I have done is I have to made my work important. I have made it urgent. I know it was important, but who made this urgent? It is me who made it urgent. So most of the time we do this only. Yes, I understand that many a times things come up very urgently and we need to complete it immediately. But 90% of the time, it's we who make things urgent. Okay, so that is why number two is very, very important. If I would have completed and completed my task by Friday itself, my task would not have become urgent, right? You'll agree with me or not? So who's making things urgent? It's me who's making things urgent, isn't it? So we have to basically ensure that we do not once in a once in a while it is fine, okay, but otherwise 90% of the times is that we make things urgent in our life. So this is basically called as an urgent important matrix, and we have to ensure that we complete our task immediately. Okay, so that is urgent important matrix. Now we are coming on to a Pomodoro technique. Okay. This is another technique that we use. Okay. Now, what is a Pomodoro technique? Pomodoro technique is basically a technique. Uh, it was basically started by a person using the tomato. If you see that Pomodoro is basically called as an tomato. Okay. Pomodoro technique was created by an entrepreneur and author named Francisco Cirillo, and this technique uses a timer or a breakdown your work into intervals. Okay, you have to break down your works into interval. Each interval is known as a Pomodoro, named after the tomato-shaped timer that that is created. Okay, now how it works? It works that you have to choose a task you need to get done. Okay, you have to set a timer. This timer is basically for 25 minutes. Okay, now you have to focus on the task at hand. You have when the timer rings, put a check mark on a piece of paper and take a short break. You can take a short break of 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, then you can go for a walk, grab a cup of coffee, do something non-work related to give your brain a break. So that is the task one. Now again, you come back and again you repeat the same process. You set a timer for 25 minutes, complete your task for 25 minutes, and then take a break. So after once you have completed this process for 4 times, you can begin to take a longer breaks. That can be for 20 minutes to 30 minutes. So that is called as a Pomodoro technique. Have you understood what I've said? See, if you go down on this website pomofocus.io, you can go and set the sorry, you can go and set the timer for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, you will get an alert. You can go and take a break of 5 minutes, come back again for 25 minutes, take a break of 5 minutes. After 4 cycles, you can take a longer break. That is called as the Pomodoro technique, and very, very important technique that a lot of people have been using for managing their time. Okay. Now, then comes the time blocking method. What is a time blocking method? Most of the students, and many a times, we have been using time blocking method. We have been using childhood, okay, and a lot of people they use time blocking method. Do you all know? I am sure you would know who Elon Musk is. He's the inventor. Elon Musk is known for being productive using time blocking method. He manages his time so efficiently that he can work over 80 hours per week and still make time for himself. So what is the secret? The secret is using time blocking method. Now, how it works is from the moment you wake up, you have to assign each time block in your day to a task. Okay, you just say, okay, fine, I'm going to complete this task in so many hours or in so many minutes. Okay, these tasks can be anything from eating your breakfast to studying for a test. Okay, now how you can use this? Divide a piece of paper into two columns. On the right hand side, you write down hours of the day and create blocks of time, such in half an hour or 1 hour chunks. Like you can just say from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So you have to write it down and estimate the time it's going to take to complete your tasks and fit them into your time blocks. Add buffer times in between each time block to follow, allow for adjustments during the day. Okay, so this is how you can use time blocking method, and this method is basically used by the students most of the time. Okay, be it a school going students or the college students. Okay, now coming is the eat that frog technique. How does it sound when I say eat that frog? It gives you a very geeky feeling. What is it? How if I'm asked you to eat a frog, do you think so you would love to do that? So what this technique says, this technique is named after Mark Twain quote: "Eat a live frog the first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you rest of your day." So imagine you have to start your day by doing the most difficult tasks first and getting them out of your way. So normally what happens is, like, there are few tasks in our lives that we do not want to do. We kind of, procrastinate, we kind of delay those tasks and all those things. And like, it's been almost a week and then we have not completed the task. So what the only way that you can complete that task is by by this technique, which is called as eat that frog technique. What you have to do is you have to, if one task that you have not completed for days and you want to finish that task, is you have to decide the first thing when I get up early in the morning, I have to complete this task. I have to eat a frog. Okay, I have to complete this task even if I do not like it. Okay, so that is how you can complete that task. uh, so this is called as eat that frog technique. Okay. So yes, that is another technique that we all can use. And then pickle jar theory. Okay, so what is a pickle jar theory? What I'll do is I'll just run this video for you all. You'll be able to understand. Okay, I'm just running this video.
And is it full now? And how about now? Is the jar full now? Yes. Yeah, it is. Now, I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. Golf balls are the important things, your family, your friends, your health, and your passions. The pebbles are the other important things, your car, your job, your home. The sand is everything else, it's just the small stuff. Now, if you put the sand into the jar first, you won't have room for the pebbles or the golf balls. And the same is true in life. If you spend all your energy and your time on the small stuff, you won't have time for all the
Professor, what does the beer represent?
I'm glad you asked. It goes to show that no matter how full your life may seem to be, there's always room for a couple of beers with a friend.
So I think we would have understood what is this rock jar pebble. Okay, this is basically we have to the rock represents our most important things of our life. Okay, so we have to concentrate on that first, then comes the pebbles, and then the other things. Okay, so that is the another tool that we can use. Now let's come to chunk, block, and tackle. Now, what is a chunk, block, and tackle? Like if I have been given a very important big project I have to work on, and I do not know how do I start working on this project. The first thing I have to do is I have to do it, make it a chunk. I have to block, and then I have to tackle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break the large project into specific tasks that can be completed in less than 15 to 30 minutes. And then I block out time sets to complete specific tasks as early in the day possible, and then tackle. Now, tackling is the specific task, focusing only on this task rather than the whole project itself. Okay, so this is called as chunk block taken. Then comes the ready, fire, and aim. Many times, so what happens is that we try to over plan things and we say, okay, once I've planned everything, I will start working on it. That is called as ready, fire, and aim. But it's not necessary that I have to always over plan things. Do not over plan each of your actions. By the time you fire, the actions may be moved. Okay, you have to get ready, you have to fire, you have to remember the 80-20 principle and then just take actions. Even if you don't hit the bullseye, you will probably still hit the target. Okay, and then aim. Make new plans based on new information, readjust your aim based on where you hit the target. So that is called as a ready, fire, and aim. Productivity journal. I would want to know how many of you have got a journal. How many of you keep a list, to do list, basically? Do you all make your productivity journal where you're writing down what are tasks you have to complete on each day? Do you all do that? So basically, we all need to create our productivity journal and we have to write down all the tasks that I'm going to complete on that particular day. The most efficient way to live reasonably is every morning to make a plans of one day and every night to examine the results obtained. So what we have to do is that we have to make a productivity journal. We have to write all the tasks that I'm going to complete on that particular day. I am going to, if I'm writing 10 tasks that I need to complete, you have to prioritize which are the most important. Three tasks you have to prioritize and you have to give that numbering. Number one, number two, number three. Prioritize those tasks and then work on those tasks. Once you have completed those tasks, just tick mark. Okay. So that is how you can maintain your productivity journal. How do we handle procrastination? How do we tackle procrastination? What is procrastination? Procrastination is nothing but delaying a task that should be a priority. Many a times we procrastinate. Okay. Now, what are the reasons that we all procrastinate? They are why we procrastinate because we do not have a clear deadline. Like I have been given a task. Okay, Sarika, go and complete this task. Okay, this is the project. You have to make a presentation. Go and complete it. I am not going to complete it because I have not been given a deadline. So I can take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months also. So no clear deadline. If it is there, that is when we procrastinate. Okay. We have inadequate resources available. We do not know where to begin. If I have been given a very big project, I will get so confused and I would not know where I have to begin from. Okay. That is also one of the reasons that we procrastinate. Sometimes the tasks are too overwhelming. Sometimes the task is something like that I do not want to, I do not have a passion to do that work. Okay. That is also why we procrastinate, and many a times fear of failure makes us procrastinate. So, so we have to stop procrastinating and we have to start thinking how we are going to handle it. Okay. Organizing your workplace. Many a times it so happens that we waste a lot of time in getting things because our workplace is not being managed properly, it's not organized properly, and that is how we waste a lot of time. Okay, let me just give you an example. Okay, uh, I have got a table, or I've got a desk where it is completely unorganized. All the files are kept here and there. Okay, and my boss asked me, okay, Sarika, go get this file. Go get this file in 5 minutes. So my place is so unorganized. I have to literally search for the file. I have to go hunt for it. Where is this file? And then I will waste my time, getting that file. On the contrary, if my workplace was organized properly, all the filing system was proper according to the alphabetical order A, B, C, D, I would just take the file out. I'll just remove the file and I'll go and give it to my boss. So it's very, very important that I organize my workplace. Okay. Now, let me give you another example where as soon as I reach home, I keep my keys, car keys, I hang it at a particular place, okay? And whenever I'm going, I just take it from that place and I leave. What if I do not have a proper place to keep the keys? I come home, I keep my keys here and there, and next day in the morning I have to go search for those keys. I would be wasting a lot of time. Very, very important that we have to organize our workplace and our workplace at even at home properly, so we are able to manage our time properly. Declutter. To retrieve materials quickly, you will need an effective filing system that includes three basic kinds of files: working files, reference files, and archival files. Now, this is not in the physical form. Even I'm talking in the online system, even in computer, even in your laptop. You know, we have got so many things available on our laptop. We need to see what is the working files that I would be using on a day to day, what is the reference files, and what is an archival files. If I put in all my data on my computer, it will start hanging up. Okay, so you have to see how you can declutter things in your life. Okay, not with the files but with other things also at home. Delegating. Okay, many a times what we do is we fail to delegate things. We do not like delegating things. Okay, the small little things that we should be delegating so that we can save a lot of time, like if there's a small child in your house, you probably can ask that person to do that work. Okay, if you're finding something very difficult, you're finding very difficult to do, so what you can do is, and one of your friend is very good at doing that, probably what you can do is you can take help of your friend to complete that task for you. So that is how you would be delegating. Uh, Sometimes it may so happen that your friends may ask you to help you with their work, so you can help them out. So this is how you can delegate things and you can save time for yourself. Okay. Then setting rituals. Now, what are rituals? What do you understand by the term rituals? Can someone put up in the chat box, please? What are rituals? Everyone is asking for the feedback link actually. So, what are rituals? What do you understand by the term rituals? No one? So rituals are basically something that we do on a regular basis. Any practice or pattern of behavior regularly performed in a set manner is basically a ritual. Anything that we do on a regular basis, like sleeping is a ritual, exercise is a ritual, eating food is a ritual. Okay, so that is called as a ritual. Now, what we have to do is we have to, some examples of rituals is basically, instead of checking your emails, news, and websites throughout the day, what we can do is we can set aside several periods that we can use this activity. So what happens is, like for example, if I'm going and checking my mail after every 15-20 minutes, so what I do is I just go check my mail, and then I go on the news, I go on different websites, I go on my social media, I go on my Facebook, on my Instagram. I say, okay, fine, I'll just take 5 minutes, I'll just finish it off, and then I'll come and start working my normal work. Okay. But that normally does not happen. If I am on my social media, I is definitely I will not take 5 minutes. I will start browsing it, and then one interesting thing comes, then another things comes, and the another things comes, and then I waste maybe 15 to 20 minutes easily. Okay, so instead of doing that, what I can do is, okay, I am going to check my emails, or I am going to browse the internet only at one specific time, once in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, or maybe after the lunch break, or maybe after this break, and like maybe 4 to 5 times I can think of checking my emails, or checking the websites, or checking the social media. So just make that as a ritual and set timer for that. That way you are going to stop wasting your time. Then set up a system for maintaining your productivity journal. Yes, take out a time and write down your productivity journal, the task that you are going to complete on that particular day. That is called as is one of the examples of setting up the rituals. Okay. Now, how can you utilize rituals to maximize your time? So probably what you can do is, okay, I take 1 minute to do deep breathing and stretches. Okay, just take 1 minute. It just take hardly 1 minute. If you're feeling very much under the stress, and you have to just take 1 minute and you just do a breathing exercises and stretches. Take 5 minutes to clean up your desk every day or small area. If you are taking that 5 minutes every day, you will be saving yourself for spending half an hour to 1 hour cleaning your desk every weekend. Okay, so 5 minutes you will take and you will clean it every day rather than spending half an hour on a weekend. 10 minutes, take 10 minutes to update your personal productivity journal. Okay, then you can also set aside one lunch hour a week to adopt your personal errands. Okay, make a list of beginning of each week and do a one a day. Okay, so these are, you have to make your own rituals. You have to make your own rituals to maximize time. Okay, so that is about the rituals. There are some time wasters that we have to see that we are not wasting some times on that. Interruptions, distractions, poor planning. As I told you before, also perfectionism is nothing but a time waster. Trying to do everything by your own self. Okay, start delegating. Okay, taking on too much on yourself. Okay, crisis management, too much socializing. If you are into too much of socializing, you are doing nothing but wasting your time. Not valuing your own time, lack of skills. Now, why lack of skills is a time waster? Okay, let me just tell you, give an example. For example, Excel. If you do not know, if you do not have an skills for operating Excel, you would be wasting a lot of your time operating it. So so you better learn that skill and start working on it. So these are time wasters. Okay. Now, uh, what is the difference between being a busy person and a productive person? Do you all want to be a busy person or do you want to be a productive person? What does a busy person do? Busy person loves multitasking, keeps talking about how busy he is. He will think, oh my God, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. And at the end of the day, if you think of it, he has not done anything. He has several priorities, equates doing things with accomplishment. He works for his boss, okay? Respond yes to everything, tries to please everyone, does not socialize, replies to mails advance, asks for advice, allows others to set his directions, and tries to do everything by himself, works very hard. Whereas a productive person is a person who's smart, works smart, finds the best tools, services, and people to help him. He sets his own directions and assesses his progress away always. He acts and completes the job on time, takes the time and replies with care. Okay, not every time that I have to reply immediately. Attends to the important events, tries to please his clients, not the boss. Thinks twice before nodding to request. You should not be saying yes to everything. If you think that you are not able to do anything, you can always say no. Say no politely. Works for himself, waits for the results before taking the credit, has couple of priorities, not too many priorities, lets the results speak for him and focuses on one task at a time. So don't be busy, be productive. Okay. So what are your key takeaways? You can just put it in the chat box. So thank you so much for joining for this session. If you have any questions, you can just let me know. I've tried to complete within 1 hour, Namit.
It was a wonderful session by you, ma'am. Wonderful knowledge
Thank
given
you.
by you. I hope our audience learned many new things from you. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining us and sharing your experience, your precious time, and your knowledge with us. That has added and sparked to the event and made it even more special. Thank you so much, ma'am. There are a few questions which your audience want to be answered. So, with your permission, shall we continue?
Yes, sure. Carry on.
Ma'am, the first question is like you talked about busy and productive person. So, according to you, if a person is a busy person, so how can he or she convert himself or herself into a productive person?
So, the busy person in the sense, see, we all are busy with our tasks, okay? But a busy person, so the first few things that you have to say is that whenever you are taking a task on your hand, okay, you have to see that if I am able to complete that task or not. Just take one task at a time, complete that task, and that take another task on with you. What if I take 10 tasks with me and I'm not able to complete those tasks? Okay. Even for that, if you have to say no, I cannot do this thing, say politely that at the moment I am not able to I will be able to complete this task after I complete this, and then only I will take that. Okay. So that is one very important thing. You cannot take too many things. You cannot do multitasking. Okay. If you're doing multitasking, then you are not able to complete even one task properly. You cannot be a perfectionist. If you are a productive person, then don't try to be a perfectionist. So this is how you can be a productive person rather than a busy person.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next question is how can we track the progress and measure the productivity over time?
Uh, how can we? It's again in the time management. What you can do is that uh, if you have completed one thing, if you have completed one task, okay, sit down. I mean, if you only have to track the uh, productivity, sit down and see that I have completed, I was at 0%, I have completed this task 50%. So I'm probably progressing in my area. Okay. So you need to have a complete uh, you need to give a time to that particular project. So if you have to complete that project within 1 month, okay, and you have plan it properly, okay, I'm at this stage, okay, I am at this stage, and as per the plan, also I should be at this stage, or I'm 10 days behind my plan, then probably I am not good at productivity, okay. And if you see that I am at this particular stage and I should have been at this stage only today, I am properly on as per my plan. If I can be a way ahead also. If I'm 1 day ahead, then I know what is my productivity. Probably my productivity is more than 100%. So this is how you can check your productivity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is there some strategies for managing interruptions and distractions throughout the day?
I've already given those strategies. Is that use rituals, okay? We all, not only the students, I'm sure even the elders, even others also have got a lot of social medias, a lot of Facebook, a lot of Instagram, a lot of tutors, those social medias. So what we have to do is we have to either you just remove these from your mobile, just see it on your laptop, okay, you can do that. That is one way, because mobile is very easily accessible. I am just opening up this mobile, I can just go through and I can check. I'm not in front of my laptop all the time, but I have got my mobile in front of me all the time. So you can remove those applications from your mobile, or else what you can do is you can have one set time to go and check those applications. Maybe I will see in the morning, okay, once I get up, or maybe after my breakfast, I will check those social media after my uh, lunch break, during my lunch break, or at night, or while I'm traveling. Okay, these are the ways you can get rid of those distractions. Okay, and if you are getting a phone call and you know it's not an important phone call, probably you don't need to pick up that phone call. You just complete your work, complete your task, and then probably you can reply to that person. Until unless it's very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, it was very effective for our audience. Each and every question answered by you, and your knowledge, your presentation was very good. That was a very good piece of advice for everyone present here. Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the questions. Now, I would like to request everyone to kindly open their cameras for a snapshot. Once again, I would request everyone to please open up their cameras for the snapshot. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional question, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide you additional support. Feedback link has been shared in the chat box. Please fill this form within 6 hours. Feedback link has been already shared in the chat box. Please fill this form within 6 hours. Thank you so much, everyone, for cooperating. Stay tuned for new learnings. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being there with us. Thank you so much for all the knowledge. I, Namneet Kaur Grover, your host for the day, signing off. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Navneet. And the audience was excellent. Thank you so much.